19-year-old man got into a high school and sexually assaulted a student at knife point. Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. The attack happened early yesterday morning at Horn High School in Mesquite. Police say the suspect had help getting inside the building. Fox 4's Amelia Jones is in Mesquite right now with a reaction from parents. Amelia.
Heather, Steve, Mesquite police tell us that the suspect had a knife, and that's what he used to force the victim into a bathroom where the alleged sexual assault happened. The parents we spoke to were concerned that they didn't find out about the incident until the next day, and now they're worried something like this could happen again. Tuesday, around 2:30 p.m., Mesquite police say a Horn High School student opened a locked door for a 19-year-old man. Once inside, the man searched for his ex-girlfriend, who is a student at the high school. He used a knife to force her into a restroom where he allegedly sexually assaulted her.
After the incident, my understanding is the victim immediately went to the front office and notified staff of what had occurred.
A teacher saw the suspect in the hall and approached him. The suspect ran, and school resource officers didn't find him on campus. Mesquite police identified the suspect as 19-year-old Siniaz Elijah and arrested him Tuesday night at his home in Seagoville. He's charged with aggravated sexual assault of a child.
So I found that very odd that a total stranger, a person who doesn't go to the school, got back into the school, had access, and stayed in for a minute to assault someone before they were recognized.
Parents like Lotlia Fanner were concerned that the district didn't notify parents the same day.
Usually, if someone came with contraband, it is an email sent out or a text that evening. I am not happy that it was, a day later that we're made aware of this. So that is just the most concerning to me.
Brianna Doolin agrees.
That bothered me so bad. I'm like, so y'all waited 24 hours to tell parents that their child was in danger?
Police say the suspect didn't try to harm anyone else. Even though the suspect was arrested, Doolin's still concerned about security at the high school.
Good, but who's to say it won't happen again?
Mesquite police say they wanted to make sure information was accurate before informing parents of the incident.
Because again, this is a very rare occurrence. We hate that it happened, but getting information out is critical, to the community, to the parents, but it has to be accurate, more than just getting it out quick. I think that's more important.
In the letter to parents, Mesquite ISD said there are only 2 entrances for visitors at the high school. The letter also states that the student who let Elijah inside will face serious disciplinary action.
It could have been even more devastating than it already is.
Mesquite police could not confirm if Elijah was a former student at Horn High School, but they did say that he knew the student who let him inside. Elijah is currently being held here at the Mesquite jail, and he will be transferred to the Dallas County Jail.
All right, everybody, what's going on? So you guys heard what the newscast had to say. I want to start off by just saying I am in no way, shape, or form trying to victim blame in this regard. What happened to that girl was awful, and I sincerely hope that this guy who did this gets the absolute highest amount of time. I hope the judge maxes his ass out because he deserves it, right? I am not trying to victim blame. However, there's a real conversation that we have to have about accountability and a real conversation we have to have about protecting people. You can't protect someone who doesn't want to be protected. And here's what I mean. If you think about the details of this case, they said somebody that the assailant knew that went to the school let this person in. Then this person searched for his ex-girlfriend, and somehow he located her, and he takes her into a bathroom. He intimately assaults her. And then I guess he leaves. She goes to the front office to tell him what happened. He gets confronted by a teacher at some point in time, and he leaves. He flees the scene, and then he gets arrested. Okay, here's the deal. You have at least 3 people involved in this situation. You have the assailant, you have the person who let him in, and then you have the girl. Once again, I'm not trying to victim blame, but we obviously know the girl and the guy, the girl and the assailant had a relationship. We don't necessarily know where the guy who let him in, we don't know if he has a relationship with that girl, but we know he knows the assailant because he let him in. This seems like to me something that was going on for a while. Like this seems like they had a system. Like the guy, the assailant would hit up the guy who initially let him in and would say, "Hey, I'm coming through, let me in." And then he would get into school, and then he would come see his girlfriend. The reason I say that, this looks like something that they've done before, is simply because when you think about it, he got into the school and he somehow knew where to find this girl. I know the news report said that he searched for her, but are we supposed to think that this guy just got in and he was wandering around the school until he found this girl, and then he found her wherever she was at, and she was all alone, no eyes on him, no eyes on her. He whips out the knife, and then he drags her off into a bathroom, and that bathroom just happens to be empty. In 2024, we got empty girl bathrooms. When everybody smokes weed in the bathroom, they smoke cigarettes in the bathroom, they cut class in the bathroom, they're on their phone in the bathroom. Like, he just happened to know which bathroom to take her to. He's able to complete his assault, and then he just leaves. Like, I get how it sounds if I start laying this out. It starts to sound like I'm victim blaming. Once again, I'm not. But like I said, I think this was like an operation that the three of them were doing on some ongoing basis. Like, the girl was dating the guy, and the guy who eventually let the attacker in might have known the girl because he goes to high school with her. Maybe he's a loser. Maybe he's not the cool kid, so he wants to score some points with the cool kids. So he, shoots this girl a favor. You know what I mean? And she's like, "Oh, hey, let this guy in when I tell you," or whatever like that, right? I've seen stuff like this myself. Like, he sounds like a dweeb who was trying to be down with the cool kids and, turn his head while the cool kids do what they do. And now he's implicated in this, right? Like, maybe he didn't know they had broken up and he let the assailant in, and then the assault happens and now he's going down for it. Not saying that's what happened. Saying that's a possibility. But either way, you're going to have a hard time convincing me that this girl hasn't done this before with this guy. Because like I said, how is he just wandering around the school? No one is seeing him. It's like he knew what door to go to, where there wouldn't be anybody to question him or, to stop him immediately. And he knew how to get to this girl's location. How do you know what class she's in? How do you know when she has lunch? How do you know when she has study hall? How do you know when she's going to be in an unobserved location? Like, okay, sure. The guy who let him in might know the girl's schedule, and he might have been like, "Okay, I'll let you in and I'll take you to her." But how did you get her from whatever location you found her at to the bathroom with nobody seeing you from the time you entered all the way until the time you exited the bathroom? Once again, I'm not victim blaming. I'm just simply saying kids do stupid stuff. And this sounds like something that these people had done. She's seeing this guy who doesn't go to the high school. She's asking the nerdy kid or, the guy who let him in. She's asking him to, "Hey, let so-and-so in at so-and-so time, and I'm going to meet him at this place, and, we're going to do what we do." And that's that. It sounds like this is something they had going on for a while, and nothing bad ever happened. They did it 1 time, 2 times, 10 times, however many times. And at some point in time, something went wrong. These people break up, and this guy says, "Nope, I ain't going out like that. You ain't just breaking up with me." He comes to the school, and the guy who let him in thinks it's business as usual. They let him in. He knows where to find this girl. He finds her. He somehow gets her to the... They say he took her to the bathroom at knife point, so I'm not going to necessarily refute that. He takes her to the bathroom at knife point, which, okay, once again, I don't want to victim blame, but she doesn't kick, she doesn't scream, she doesn't shout, she doesn't holler. She gives no resistance, which, okay, he got her at knife point. She might have panicked. This is like, I'm not refuting that, but I'm saying maybe he got in that time and said, oh man, please don't break up with me. Let's just talk, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to our spot. It might have been a bathroom that was, off in the cut. I don't know. It sounds like this was something that these people had done many times before. And this was the time when breaking the rules, bit this girl in the behind. Once again, I'm not victim blaming. Like I said, I think this guy is a dirtbag. He should get maximum time. It sounds like forcible, intimate assault, let's say. I think that's like a life sentence or like 40 years. I know it's a lot of time, typically. I hope he gets all of it. But what I'm saying is I think this was something that they were doing, and this girl didn't understand who she was dealing with. She didn't understand you're dealing with a weirdo. You're dealing with a nutcase. Anytime you're 19 and you're dealing with a high schooler, I mean, okay, technically the ages aren't that crazy far apart, but if this dude has access to the school to come see you and stuff like that, he ain't moved on, he ain't working a job, like he hasn't gone to college, you dealing with a weirdo, right? So like I said, it sounds like they did this, and this was the time that it kind of, bit her in the butt. But this is what I'm saying. It's very difficult to protect people. And when I say people, let's just be clear, women. It's hard to protect women and girls when you can't hold them accountable. Because even me, I have to tiptoe around this subject. I can't just come out here and be like, man, this girl did this and she was doing it. You already know. I can't do that. I can't do that. So, it's like I said, how do you hold people accountable? Because accountability helps you grow as a person. It helps you grow. It helps you adjust. It helps you recognize, I shouldn't have done this and I shouldn't have done that. And if I would have done this, I would have gotten a different result. And if I wouldn't have done that, it helps you protect yourself, right? The ultimate superpower is accountability. If I take accountability for stuff, even if it's unreasonable, everything is on my shoulders. I can control how I react. I can control what I let get out of control to a certain degree, right? The most successful people are just very, very accountable. They're the most accountable people They're successful, but they're accountable. They're in every asset and facet of their business or their success. They're overly involved. So like I said, I'm not trying to victim blame, but we can easily say, well, the school staff should have done X, Y, Z. Well, how are they supposed to keep you safe with XYZ protocol if you are potentially circumventing the protocols by, getting guys to let other guys in the school when everybody got their back turned, right? If you are the inside man in your own attack, so to speak, not saying she is, but just saying there's a possibility, right? If you're the inside man in your own attack, how do we protect you? Right? It's like if we're trying to keep the wolves out, the sheep can't, tell the wolves the passcode to the gate. And it sounds so ugly and repugnant for me to suggest that. And like I'm saying, I don't think she deserves it, nothing like that. But at the same time, it's very hard for me to conceptualize in my mind how this man was able to get to her location in that school, get her from that location quietly to the bathroom, knowing what bathroom to go to, knowing there wouldn't be anybody in that bathroom, and knowing he could probably escape the school without being seen, which he didn't. It's just like, if I'm wrong about this, I do sincerely apologize, but I believe this was something that these kids had done before, because this is some kid stuff. This is kid stuff, right? This is what kids do. They put themselves in bad situations, and it's up to adults to protect them from themselves. But it's hard to protect a kid from themselves when you can't tell them, hey, you did this dumb thing and it came back to bite you. So, we need to address this. And a lot of times when it comes to women, you can't address the things that they've done to endanger themselves and others. So like I said, I promise you from the bottom of my heart, I am not trying to victim blame. I'm just looking at this situation as a person who has been to school, who has seen people act like this, who has seen people do stuff like this, and who has, I've seen it blow up in people's face. And this is what this looks like. Now, luckily, the guy had a weapon on him. He didn't use it, right? So, and once again, I want to say, I understand why she did not kick and scream since, the guy had a weapon. So I'm not trying to blame her on that. I know people are going to get in the comments and say, you're a misogynist. So I get it. I get every aspect of why this happened. But at the same time, we got to read between the lines and really see why this happened and address that. If we can't address the possibility that this girl, the guy who let the guy in and the attacker were collaborating for some period of time, and that opened up a threat vector, if we can't address that, if we can't admit to that and attack that particular point, we're always going to have open threat vectors. You can always do stuff about the wolf outside, but what happens when the sheep is so naive they let the wolf in? Potentially. Not saying that she did that. Potentially. So I'm not going to beat this into the ground. Let me know what you guys think. If you know anything more about this than what I know. Once again, I am not victim blaming. I understand all sides of this. I'm just asking an uncomfortable question and pointing out a potential uncomfortable reality. So don't hop in the comments talking about, don't report my video talking about I hate women. All right. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll get back at you on the next one. Peace.